Mitsuha Yamano loses her parents and brother in an accident. She gets in a fight with bullies and is pushed off a cliff, but lands safely and realizes she has traveled to an alternate world. By visualizing what her otaku brother might have done, she wanders the land but soon becomes exhausted after a day with no food or water. Until she is found and taken in by a girl named Colette. Colette and her family bring her back to their home. Where they feed her, she learns that she speaks a different language from the rest of them. Mitsuha decides to get used to this new world. Mitsuha realizes that there's no toilet paper in the village. Luckily, she always kept pocket tissues as a lady. Also feeling the need for air freshener and hand sanitizer. While foraging, she and Colette are attacked by wolves. Mitsuha is able to keep the girls safe by climbing a tree. She tries to run away but can't outrun them. As she is about to die, she thinks about her brother, only for Mitsuha to abruptly return to Japan. Realizing she can travel between worlds, she grabs several of her brother's weapons. She learns how to travel back, throws a spice bomb and kills the wolves. She falls down unconscious, covered in blood. She is confronted by an interdimensional being, who looks like a Japanese lucky cat. The cat explains that when she fell off the cliff, her strong will to live stole some of his power, so she can now travel between worlds and heal all injuries. He lets her keep the power and leaves, promising to visit in a few millennia. Colette's father pays Mitsuha gold for the wolf carcasses. Mitsuha pictures her brother telling her to use her cheat ability for her benefit, realizes she could use her power to become wealthy enough to retire in both worlds. Her parents left her a decent inheritance, but 4 years of university has taken a good amount. So to live her normal life like she does now, Mitsuha assumes she can use modern convenient items to make a fortune here. Deciding to save up to 2 billion yen worth of gold, roughly 80,000 gold coins. Using her new status as a foreigner, she begins to talk to the townspeople for information. Mitsuha begins identifying ways common Japanese products would be profitable if brought to the new world. Learning the feudal lord, Klaus von Boses, is a good man. Mitsuha thinks he would be a good way to get started. Decides to make her fortune in the royal capital. Traveling on a wagon in the morning, having to reveal she's an adult. Colette cries about losing her friend, crushing her. Mitsuha lies about having a friend in the capital but promises she will return one day. Mitsuha pays her wagon fee and reminds herself of the nobility hierarchy. After looking at herself some more, she comes to the realization she stinks. Teleporting to Japan, she drives off to convert her assets to cash. Using her mastery of all language skills, she learns English. Then she travels to South America to meet Wolf Fang, a private military company, where she purchases guns and training in shooting and self-defense. She also negotiates a deal with the commander to exchange the other world's gold coins with Earth money. With the commander not caring about her reason for doing this, then telling her each coin is worth $200. Mitsuha researches medieval feudal societies to decide what products to buy and sell for the easiest profit. She was tempted to sell it at a higher price but doesn't, finishing her training. Deciding she is ready, she teleports back to the other world and enters the village ruled by Klaus von Boses. Mitsuha is prevented from meeting Klaus without an invitation, so she fabricates a meeting with his sons by feigning being hit by their carriage. Having made a good first impression, Mitsuha gifts Klaus a Swiss Army knife, with which he is instantly intrigued. At dinner at his mansion, she meets Klaus's wife Iris, sons Alexis and Theodore, and daughter Beatrice. Mitsuha claims to have fled her country to allow her beloved younger brother to inherit, avoid a succession dispute, and intends to support herself as a merchant, starting by selling a medium-quality pearl necklace. However, Iris reveals pearls are so rare that an entire necklace of them would be an instant national treasure no amount of gold could buy. Taking pity on her ignorance, Iris agrees to hide the necklace from the public in exchange for enough gold to open a general store in the capital. The family continues to be impressed with Mitsuha's innovative business sense, and she finds herself reminded of her own parents and brother, causing her to cry. The next day, Klaus sends her to the capital in his carriage with a letter of official sponsorship and an invitation to visit them again anytime. Mitsuha reaches the capital, leases a shop and fills it with Japanese products. Unfortunately, her products are so foreign her first customers aren't interested, and only stay for a shampoo demonstration and lunch which, despite being exotic to them, are just cheap boil-in-the-bag meals. Seeing showers, a gas cooker and multiple different meals emerging from a single pot, the customers fear Mitsuha might be a witch. Regardless, Mitsuha sells shampoo, moisturizer and jewelry, including complimentary chocolates. The customers, maids in a mansion, show the chocolate to Chef Marcel, who is so impressed he shows their employers, Viscount Reiner and his daughter Adelaide. They are so intrigued by the tale of being served fresh fish for lunch. Despite being a 10-day journey from the ocean, they demand Marcel investigate. From Marcel's questions, Mitsuha realizes she messed up by stocking fresh fish, but still sells Marcel a professional chef knife. Marcel reveals it will soon be Adelaide's debutante ball, which absolutely must be a success, so he asks Mitsuha to provide fresh fish so he can impress the noble guests. Sensing an enormous potential for profit, Mitsuha agrees to help cater the entire ball, for the right fee. Reiner and Adelaide sample Mitsuha's food for the ball and are so impressed they even pay her to provide Adelaide's dress, jewelry, the alcohol and plan the schedule of entertainment. Adelaide also purchases shampoo and body wash. Mitsuha spends days teaching Marcel recipes for party foods focusing on fresh fish. Claiming to be measuring Adelaide for her dress, Mitsuha blindfolds her and teleports her to a professional dressmaker on Earth. The ball begins, and Adelaide stuns in an exquisite dress highlighted by special effects from a projector on Mitsuha's laptop. Mitsuha panics when she encounters Claus and Iris, who brought sons Alexis and Theodore as potential suitors for Adelaide. Iris had been concerned Mitsuha's shop was closed but was relieved she was just busy arranging the ball. Disaster strikes as the guests eat so much fish, the kitchen completely runs out. To avoid embarrassing Adelaide, Mitsuha deploys the dessert of biscuits, sweets, cake and alcohol to give Marcel time to prepare vast servings of French fries. The ball is such a success that many nobles demand their sons fight to marry Adelaide as soon as possible. Mitsuha's food enters high demand and becomes known in noble society as Yamano-style cuisine. The chef to Baron Turk, a guest at the ball, barges into Mitsuha's store and demands fresh fish as the Baron is no longer satisfied with his cooking. Mitsuha insists she only provides fish on special order, so he almost attacks her. Iris and Claus intervene and promise to report his actions to the Baron. Iris drags Mitsuha back to their home for dinner, as she has not visited in weeks. Beatrice insists Mitsuha cater her debutante ball in 2 years' time. Claus is fascinated by the food and special effects, and Mitsuha is forced to lie about where she gets her products. Mitsuha is surprised when Beatrice reveals girls become engaged at 10 years old and married by 15. As a high school graduate, Mitsuha is already older than this. Beatrice asks Mitsuha what type of man she would marry, and Mitsuha quickly realizes she was sent by Iris plotting to get Mitsuha married. Days later, a wanted murderer hides in Mitsuha's store but is apprehended by 4 bounty hunters from the Mercenary Guild. Sensing an interesting possibility for some RPG experiences, Mitsuha asks if she can hire the mercenaries for a job. Mitsuha asks the mercenaries, swordsman Sven, spearman Zepp, swordswoman Grit and archer Ilza, to take her hunting. After returning to Japan for modern camping equipment and a crossbow, Mitsuha learns that currently mercenaries are struggling for jobs and many have resorted to banditry. The group are amazed by Mitsuha's tent, lighter to start fires and canned soup. So Mitsuha considers providing supplies in bulk to the guild to improve working conditions. She attempts to bathe while wearing a bikini but is scolded by Grit and Ilza since bikinis don't exist, so by their standards Mitsuha is a nudist. Mitsuha is attacked by a boar she kills with her pistol but inserts crossbow bolts into the bullet holes, preferring the others not learn about guns. Returning home, Mitsuha uses a swimsuit magazine to prove bikinis are normal in her country and is surprised by their reaction to photographs. Wondering if art will sell, Mitsuha uses her teleporting power to teleport the shapes of famous statues out of solid rock, but none of them look right. She is able to sell the statues as demons to repel evil spirits, but feels no sense of accomplishment for her lack of artistic skill. A young girl named Sabine visits the shop that Mitsuha suspects to be a princess. A group of thugs kidnap the girl for human trafficking, but Mitsuha subdues them with a stun gun. Mitsuha is summoned by the king, who is grateful she rescued his daughter Sabine. Seeing the king and his chancellor Sar have bad vision, Mitsuha sells them reading glasses and subtly informs the king she can't be bribed to do his bidding. The king is impressed but has Mitsuha investigate. Days later, Nelson Adler, owner of Adler Trading Company with a royal business warrant, threatens Mitsuha to hand over her shop. Mitsuha arranges to meet Nelson later to sign the documents. She also arranges for Sabine and Sar to be present so that when Nelson is rude and lecherous to Sabine, Sar immediately confiscates his royal warrant and warns all other trading companies not to mess with Mitsuha. Nelson is forced to retire in disgrace. The king is thrilled Mitsuha manipulated events to let him prosecute the Adler Company, which is rife with corruption and rumors of human trafficking. Mitsuha makes a fortune selling reading glasses to older men with bad vision. A desperate woman visits Mitsuha for help. The woman, Alina, works at a diner owned by her parents, Bernd and Stella. The son of a rich man tried to seduce Alina, but she refused as she is in love with her father's apprentice, Anel. Since then, their chef left to work for the rich man and Bernd was beaten by thugs. Sensing a conspiracy, Mitsuha agrees to help and trains Alina and Anel in Yamano cuisine, which, due to its rarity among even nobility, can be sold for inflated prices. She hires Grit and Ilza as waitresses, including Sabine, who volunteers for fun. The rich man, his son and Bernd's former chef attempt to have Bernd arrested for selling fake Yamano cuisine, even asking Chef Marcel to confirm the food is fraudulent. However, Marcel confirms it is genuine since Mitsuha herself is present. By coincidence, Iris and Claus visit the diner to see Mitsuha, as does the king looking for Sabine. With their help, the rich man, his son and the chef are exposed as the thugs who assaulted Bernd and imprisoned. Mitsuha also does some matchmaking between Anel and Alina. After expenses, Mitsuha's profit is a mere 1 gold, but she doesn't mind as she got more satisfaction from her good deeds. In the countryside, a monster horde appears. Mitsuha attends a party at Wolf Fang headquarters on Earth. After a few days without customers, Mitsuha begins offering discounts to adventurers who bring other adventurers to her shop. The king is disappointed. Sar's investigation of Mitsuha found nothing about her past but is content that she is not a threat to the kingdom. Mitsuha is abruptly summoned by the king and asked to flee with Sabine to another country, as the neighboring Alder Empire is preparing to invade with 3,000 monsters and 20,000 soldiers, plus several nobles who have turned traitor against the king. Sar involves Mitsuha in the Council of War, where an assassin attempts to kill Commander Eiblinger. Mitsuha kills the assassin with her pistol, but Alexis is gravely injured. Angry and desperate, Mitsuha transports Alexis to Earth for life-saving modern surgery and reveals her secret to Wolf Fang's commander, hiring his entire army to fight in the other world. The commander is skeptical of her story, so Mitsuha transports him as proof, just in time to save refugees fleeing from goblins that are somehow unharmed by bullets. Even Mitsuha is able to scare the goblins away with fireworks, which also exposes the enemy monster tamer controlling them. Inspired by his first real fight in years, the commander agrees the whole Wolf Fang company will fight as paid mercenaries. As the army approaches the city, Wolf Fang, on Mitsuha's orders, takes out the officers and monster tamers, terrifying the soldiers who are mostly forcibly conscripted peasants from the empire, and setting the monsters free to cause havoc during the retreat. Even the Empire's flying wyvern squad is taken out by the vehicle Wolf Fang was named after, an armored truck with 2 roof-mounted 20mm autocannons. The enemy commander refuses to surrender yet and reveals the Empire's secret weapon, an immense dragon. Using several drones with holographic projecting equipment and her world-shifting ability to confuse the dragon, Mitsuha directs Wolf Fang into attacking the beast. When the dragon becomes irritated enough to try and breathe fire, Mitsuha shoots an RPG into its open maw, mortally wounding it. The Empire's forces immediately turn tail, and Mitsuha allows the Wolf Fang commander to keep one of the dragon's fangs before sending them back to Earth. In the aftermath, Mitsuha is invited into the castle to be rewarded, where she coaxes a huge payment for the mercenaries from the assembled nobles and is made a citizen and viscountess of the realm. Returning to Earth, Mitsuha learns that Wolf Fang has sold the dragon fang to a researcher. She returns Alexis, who has recovered, to the kingdom, and with business having come to a standstill due to the war, Mitsuha closes the store and moves to her new fiefdom to resume her retirement plans from there, inviting Colette to serve as her retainer.